and Brock Purdy, of course, took over for Jimmy Garoppolo last season after Garoppolo got injured, and Garoppolo has now moved on to a new team as he signed with the Raiders this offseason. And here's the recent timeline. So he initially hurt that foot back in December against the Dolphins, missed the rest of the season. He signed a 3-year deal with Vegas in March and reportedly had surgery on his foot after signing that contract, which has prevented him from being on the field during OTAs. It's generated a lot of anxiety, Schefty, except for from head coach Josh McDaniels, who says he has, quote, no anxiety over their quarterback situation. What more do you know about this?
Well, it's generated a lot of anxiety, I believe, Phil, because it's the first week in June and there isn't a whole lot else going on. If this were to happen during the season, I don't know how much conversation it would generate. Maybe a lot because it's a quarterback, it's Jimmy Garoppolo. But the fact of the matter is there are people, plenty of people, who believe that Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be just fine this summer. And yes, they did add the clause in his contract, which many players have clauses like that in their contract. And the feeling is he's still going to be ready this summer. He's still going to be the starting quarterback on opening day, and it would take some sort of setback along the way for that not to happen. Could that happen? Absolutely. Jimmy Garoppolo has been injury prone in recent seasons, but I can tell you that the feeling is that he's going to be fine, and if they were overly concerned, they would not have proceeded ahead with the contract and done it the way they did. They got him to sign the injury waiver. Many players sign injury waivers, and I think the feeling is that when the real games start, even when the preseason games start, Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be out there, and it's not going to be any sort of issue, and we'll see.
Yeah, look, I think Jimmy Garoppolo gives this team a real chance to compete for a wild card spot. Now, I know that may be a little bit pie in the sky, and I know Mina's going to try and blow that out of the water because of her concerns about this football team on the other side of the ball a little bit. And I get it. I understand it. I do. But look, I think Jimmy Garoppolo, one thing I'll push back on, Adam, that you said about Jimmy is this, and it's not really pushback. I really don't consider Jimmy injury prone. I consider him unlucky. Injury prone guys, you know, I think I like to reserve that label for guys who have like soft tissue injuries, who don't really train properly in the offseason, don't have the proper muscle imbalance in their lower body, those kinds of things. Jimmy's just been unlucky. He's taken some hits that this would put people out. So look, but I think with him in there, I think this offense starts on third base, so to speak. And I think Josh can really unleash the full power of what he has in his playbook, and that this team will really make some huge strides in terms of its explosive play component offensively.
Yeah, if he's healthy, I think this offense will look better than it did last year purely because of fit. He makes more sense for Josh McDaniels' system. That's why he wanted him as quarterback. But as Louis hinted at, I'm skeptical of this team because I think he's going to run into the same issue that Derek Carr ran into when Derek Carr was playing good football, which is this is not a good enough defense to compete in the AFC West, particularly on the back end. Louis, this is your great love in football. This secondary, come on. Like they simply can't.
Yeah, it's broken my heart a
look
few
at that
times.
cornerback group. It is rough.